and welcome to the Fire Next Time podcast. In this episode, marking the podcast's return after a long break, we'll be talking about the deaths of nearly 4,000 workers in Iran due to unsafe working conditions. The labor movement in Iran, under severe repression, suffers from the lack of independent labor unions. This is one of the reasons why workers in Iran endure poverty wages, unsafe workplaces, short-term contracts, or no contracts at all, and many other hardships. The staggering death toll of 3,826 Iranian workers in workplace accidents between 2021 and 2022 represents more than individual tragedies. It reveals a systematic suppression of workers' rights and safety in Iran. These numbers, which only account for insured workers on state lists, likely understates the true scale of workplace fatalities, particularly among uninsured and migrant workers. Reports indicate these incidents have increased significantly in early 2024, though specific statistics aren't available. A recent Parliamentary Research Center report examining workplace safety, especially in mining, deliberately frames these deaths as mere technical failures, focusing on outdated equipment and methods while ignoring the fundamental issue: the regime's aggressive suppression of organized labor. The report's narrow technical focus obscures how Iran's authoritarian capitalism requires crushing workers' collective power to maximize profits. Consider the telling statistic that mines were inspected only 1.8 times on average in 2022, meaning some hazardous facilities went completely unchecked. This negligence had deadly consequences, as evidenced by the 2024 Tabas coal mine methane explosion that killed 52 workers. Without independent unions or the right to organize, workers have no power to demand proper safety measures or resist dangerous conditions. The regime's repression goes far beyond simple neglect. Any attempt to form independent unions faces direct intervention from intelligence agencies and police. Workers protesting unsafe conditions, wage theft, or unfair dismissals are systematically targeted by security forces, detained arbitrarily, and charged with crimes against national security. Many industrial facilities are controlled by military economic foundations operating with impunity, treating worker organizing as a security threat. The persecution of labor activists illustrates this repressive system in action. Jafar Azimzadeh received 6 years in prison for conspiracy against national security. Parvin Muhammadi was sentenced to 1 year for public advocacy. Nahid Khudajo and Nasrin Javadi received 5 and 7-year sentences respectively. Sepide Gulian faced torture and detention for reporting on labor conditions at the Haftape sugarcane company. Mahmoud Salehi endures continuous surveillance and pressure, while Ismail Bakshi was tortured following his criticism of labor conditions. Women activists have faced particular persecution. Neda Naji, Atife Rangriz, and Marzieh Amiri were arrested during May Day events and charged with disturbing public order. The education sector has seen similar repression, with teacher unionists systematically targeted. Ismail Abdi was re-imprisoned after serving 6 years when a suspended 10-year sentence was reactivated. Rasul Budagi and Jafar Ibrahimi received multi-year sentences, while Mohammad Habibi has faced repeated arrests. These cases demonstrate how Iran's political structure deliberately renders workers defenseless. Without independent unions, free media, or basic organizing rights, workers cannot create effective safety oversight or resist exploitation. The regime's security apparatus, including the Ministry of Intelligence and IRGC, actively protects employer interests while criminalizing worker activism. The parliamentary report's discussion of safety issues masks how these deaths result from deliberate political choices. When workers face imprisonment for demanding basic protections, when unions are banned, and when activism is treated as a national security threat, workplace fatalities become an inevitable feature of the system rather than preventable accidents. The thousands of workplace deaths in Iran ultimately stem not from technical failures, but from the systematic denial of workers' fundamental rights to organize, negotiate, and protect themselves. The regime has created a structure where profit demands the violent suppression of labor's collective voice, making meaningful workplace safety impossible. These deaths represent not just individual tragedies, but an indictment of an entire system built on exploitation and repression. This crisis will persist as long as Iranian workers are denied their basic right to defend their own lives through independent organization. No amount of technical fixes or safety regulations can substitute for workers' democratic power to oversee their own working conditions. The regime's repressive approach to labor rights has created a system where worker deaths are not accidents, but the predictable outcome of authoritarian capitalism. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Fire Next Time podcast. This podcast publishing every 2 weeks. Please like and share with others. My journey in creating this space was deeply inspired by James Baldwin's powerful work, The Fire Next Time. Like Baldwin, who eloquently addressed themes of identity, race, and the human condition, this blog aims to be a beacon for open, honest, and sometimes uncomfortable discussions on similar issues. The title is not just a homage to Baldwin, but a commitment to continue his legacy of speaking truth to power and advocating for societal change. Thank you for being part of this journey. FNT is independent, ad-free, and self-funded. By donating to this cause, you become an integral part of this vital movement. Your support enables me to continue efforts in providing insightful perspectives, initiating meaningful conversations, and fostering a more empathetic understanding of the struggles faced by individuals in the Middle East and beyond.